Good evening, everyone. We done it. I said we'd do it. If we kept this podcast going long enough, we get a win finally. Everyone's welcome to the Town End. I'm joined by Chris Clark and Andrew Gallagher. Steph hopefully will be on in a little while. Lads, that was brilliant. Good to get a win.
Finally.
We've been waiting.
Yeah. Well, look, we're gonna kick off kind of right away today. Something was happening at the match that was a lot more important than the game itself. It was Derby for Sonia. So we're delighted to welcome Sonia Hoy on. Welcome, folks. How's it going?
Hi guys. How are you?
Sorry, Daniel. How are we?
Not so bad, guys. How are you?
What did you think of that result tonight?
I thank God, it's good time. We like to think Sonia gave a bit of luck.
I think that's the lucky young we probably needed tonight.
Hopefully we can kick off
just when I see your t-shirts there, just when we get you on, we probably could do it just on you. You're probably one of the most natural finishers ever born and raised in Dundalk. We probably could do it at this start of the season.
I think I'll brush the cobwebs off my boots. No problem. I'll try my best.
You could still get a game. It wouldn't be an issue whatsoever. So just when we have the 2 years on, it's brilliant to get the 2 years on. It's for the data in it as well. You've probably had a whirlwind 3 weeks probably on social media. You're probably well known now, the two of you, on social media. Just walk us through what, in as short as you can, just what way you've come up with the idea and what prompted the move to social media for the GoFundMe page. I think that it was set up by Daniel and Danny's partner, was it?
Yeah, it was myself and my partner set up Social Parks. The two of us just said, once we found we were looking up the types of treatments and that there, because we weren't happy with the prognosis with Sonia was dealt with. So we said we need to look for alternatives, and then we seen this type of treatment in Mexico, which we we need to kind of try and raise the funds for this. We all going to try our best to see what could be done, but we didn't expect the result we got, and especially the response we're still getting. So it's been fantastic. I'm seeing now down the line we've more raffles and amazing things to give away as well. So such a great response by everyone, and you can't thank everyone enough.
Yeah, I don't think you're blown away though by the level of support that came so quickly for you.
Yeah, sure. I think not even within the first 24 hours, we had near enough 50,000. It was ridiculous response. I don't think anyone. We said to ourselves, look, if we even got 10,000, it'd be amazing. So you can't, especially during COVID times, they're hard enough, and for a small town, everyone really gathers together, which it's fantastic support. And then Sonia herself has such an impact on the town, but not just for sports and out there, with everyday life as well. So I think everyone saw that as well and just got really behind her.
They were giving out to me saying, get my act together, we've only got 2 months, hurry up, we're not going to raise the money. And the space of 2.5 days, amazing, fantastic town, fantastic county, and people far and wide just absolutely just blown me out of the water. Been so amazing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a rapid change on a GoFundMe page so fast. I think it was a Monday night. I was sent a Snapchat of it. I think it was on your page, Daniel. I think it was maybe €1,400 or something like that. And I thought, right, this is going to take a couple of weeks. And then I think it was 36, 40 hours later that hit the top. Castletown Bells Club Sonia Play. So we launched we'll pay our registration fees to the fund. But by the time we started taking in the money, I think it hit 60,000 or something like that. It was the craziest 24 hours I could see in fundraising. It was absolutely. It just goes to show the community and the because you've played for so many clubs and you've crossed all sports. You've the running, you've the soccer, you've the Gaelic. I think everybody just came together so fast, and it was a phenomenal 2 days. It really was. I'm going off there. Okay.
Sorry, I'm breaking up.
So I thought I could actually hear myself breaking up. Apologies. Sonia, can you just tell us, just from football background, where you started playing football and how you came to that FAI Cup final?
Right, okay, where did I start? I suppose I started playing football. I was only out in my nappies, to be honest. Always carried the football with me. I was always playing football with the boys around the corner in the green because in my time, I know, well, I'm still a young girl, not that old, but in my time there wasn't a girls' football team, and you couldn't mix with a boys' team then either. I know you can mix up to, is it 12 now? It used to be 14, but so I just grew up playing football with the boys in the street. Then Redeemer set up a club. I think it was about 12 years of age, and that was only for a year. And then that's how I came across Castletown Celtic. I think girls were called at the time, which is Castletown Bells now. And we kind of amalgamated with them for the Mosley community games, which we did really well. And actually, first year we got to the finals. We were just unlucky. We got beaten out, I think it was 1-0.
I think it was team from Clare or something.
Yeah.
I remember.
You're right. I know it was a close game, but we beat so many. You beat like all the teams around the whole Ireland. It was a competition for nationwide. It was brilliant. Then obviously stayed with Castletown girls. I think it's my longest career playing with Castletown girls. And then we come back to Dundalk, which was super. To get joined up with Oriel Park was brilliant. Thanks to your dad there, Niall. Andrew, I'll be delighted to hear that. So then we went on with Dundalk, I think, was it 12, 13 years, roughly around that. Like, we had an amazing time with Dundalk. We worked our way up the leagues. We won every league, but unfortunately the only league we didn't win was the main one, the Dublin Premier League. But we won, I think, all the cups as well, and we got to Lansdowne Road twice, 2 years in a row, which was brilliant. Unfortunately, we lost the first one, but we made up for it in the second time. And ironically, it was the same year and the only year that the Drogheda's men's team won the FAI Cup as well, on the same day. So it was such a coincidence to have the derby for Sonia tonight when it was against Drogheda. But it was brilliant to get the win out of it. But also, I had a year right there at Dundalk. So I kind of was with Peamount for 1 year there and came back to Dundalk. And then when Dundalk obviously folded, unfortunately, it was tough times then. Blackrock came along. And sure, it was all Dundalk ladies that went to play with Blackrock, and we were there one season and we won everything with them. So it was super. We had a great team. Great bunch of people with us. And then to finish off my career, I went back to my home roots. Not right, Andrew? He was trying to get me back to play for a season. I tried my best. It was a short spell, but injuries caught up with me. So I finished off my career with one of the teams I started off with. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. I still remember the game. We brought you in for semi-final of a cup, and I probably should have started you, but because you hadn't trained, you were probably fitter than everybody. But you hadn't trained. I couldn't just throw you in. But I regret probably not starting you maybe earlier in the game and getting you on. But we were beaten in the semi-final. But you've had an unbelievable impact. Like, regardless of what's going on, health-wise, illness-wise, you've had an unbelievable impact in girls soccer, women's sport. Like, it's unfortunate that this situation has brought it more to prominence, but we knew you before all of this, and I have to say, easily the role model for anyone coming up in football looking to look to someone. 100% the best I've ever seen. Like, I'd sign you tomorrow if I was over the senior team, which I'm not anymore. I would sign you tomorrow. You're an absolute model professional. I was just looking today. I don't know, James. We might have to get James Rogers on for this fact. I think you're one of the last, if not the last, females to score at the old Lansdowne Road. I have to double check. It's just something I came across, because I think you're the last female ever to put the ball in the back of the net at a competitive game in Lansdowne Road. Now, I don't know if that's 100%. We may have to check with James Rogers on that one. But it's just something I came across just before the podcast started. So it's an unbelievable feat. Like, the fact you went to an FAI Cup final and it's for Dundalk. I know Drogheda kind of ruined the year on it, but sure, look, we worry about that later. But it's an unbelievable feat. And like, I wanted to get you on. I know your head's probably wet. You're probably tired from your day up at Oriel Park and that. But I just wanted to get you on and just let you know that look, everybody's behind you. Everybody's thinking of you, and the money you've raised is absolutely phenomenal. And am I allowed to? Are we launching this right now? Thank you. So what we have here behind us, we threw it up on Facebook earlier on. It's on the Castle and Bells page, and it's now on the Town End page as well. It's courtesy of, I think, Brian Garton at Dundalk and Sandra McAlevey, who's a former teammate of yours, Sonia, as well. We have a signed jersey and we have a signed football It's from Dundalk Football Club, okay? So the way this will work is it's going to go to auction tonight. So we're going to run it for a week. So 1 week, the auction will start tonight and it'll run until the end of the podcast next Friday. So whoever has the highest bid by next Friday, I'll personally deliver this, provided it's locally, the Saturday day after, all right? So we can start the bidding on this. I think we can start this now, Tingu, can we?
Yeah, we can indeed.
Yeah, so we can start the bidding on a signed Dundalk football and a signed Dundalk brand new 2021 jersey tonight. All the proceeds goes to saviour Sonia, and it goes straight into the GoFundMe page, and we'll hopefully generate a lot of money over the next couple of days. How does that sound? Is that all right for you? And anything else we can do if you look at it's been an unbelievable. I know Serena's hiding in the background there. She doesn't want to probably go on camera. There she is. But yeah, and Daniel, I'm going to put you on the spot now, like I did before the podcast to start. I want to see you coaching the Castleton Bales come first week in May, all right? Get in contact with me, we get you up, all right? We might as well continue the high tradition with Kyla playing in the under 13. All right, so the bidding starts on this, folks. Get your bids in and we'll kick it off for Sonia. Sorry, Sonia.
I think I could probably start and go on New Lansdowne Road, because I think I robbed the start of turf, and it's in my medal the time we won Lansdowne Road. It's the last game today. Lansdowne Road. Yeah. I took a big lump of grass with me, and I think the rest of the girls followed, so there's probably one big baldy patch by the end of the day, but it's only Drogheda. They're
probably looking for it. Listen, and it's an unbelievable look. I can't say anymore. It's unbelievable, and fair play to yourself and Serena and Daniel and is Michelle your other sister? I can't think of it. Is that her? Am I correct there? Yeah. But fair play to you all. It's an unbelievable feat, and look, I know what you like as a footballer, as a person. It's great to even know you in person, and look, hopefully Kyle will be able to continue it on over the next couple of years and get us kicking up the league. But look, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Look, it genuinely is, and just I don't know what happens now. I'm not sure what ways they're working. Do we keep fundraising and get as much in as we can? And
yeah, we have a couple more ideas actually coming up. The game was tonight, which was brilliant. We also have another friend that's setting up a phone quiz and a music bingo night for me now on Sunday week, the bank holiday weekend. So we'll be excused for a couple of drinks and a bit of crack as well. It's not the usual bingo, it'll be a bit of fun. And then we're going to set up raffles. We have a few great, actually brilliant jerseys, as well as the local jerseys. We've got brilliant home merchandise coming our way, and hampers, and still a lot of donations coming into it from people. It's just been amazing. It's amazing. It's still going.
And that's what Dundalk's all about. It's an unbelievable effort by everybody. I have to say, it's been a crazy 3 weeks. Look, I'm sure you're exhausted, but look, thanks for coming on. And I can just see in the bottom left, is that €250? We've a starting bid of €250. Screenshot that so Colin doesn't go hiding on us. So that's €250 straight out the gate.
Yeah. So thanks, Colin, for that.
Perfect.
And for myself as well, Sonia, neighbours and all, best of luck with everything. And it's always good when I see the football community rolling behind something like this. Obviously, Zoe Murphy was someone close to myself as well, and we could see how the whole community rallied around Zoe, and and she can't wait to get back to Oriel Park either. I was talking to her dad during the week, so it's great to see the football community again for yourself. So it's absolutely brilliant, and best of luck with all the treatment and anything else that we can do for you. Absolutely, there's always a platform here for you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, folks. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
No bother. Anytime.
Brilliant. That was great. I mean, it's important, obviously, to highlight the fact that some things are bigger than rivalries, as big as tonight was, and it's great to see what the town has done for Sonia. And I think today John Aldridge was retweeting about the game and things like that. It's absolutely fantastic. I just hopefully the club will come out while we're live here and let us know how many tickets were sold, just so we find out. But I suppose moving on towards the game, we're going to bring in our next guest right away. He is probably the best interim manager of all time in League of Ireland circles. Good friend of mine. He's managed to keep 2 teams up. Daruis, what's the crack, brother?
How are you doing, Dean? How's things?
Not too bad.
Daruis, how are you, pal?
I'd just like to wish Sonia the best of luck before we start, lads. It's great to see, Chris, you're talking about the League of Ireland community and the football community, the way they come together, rivalries aside, it's brilliant. And I've seen it time and again. I was with Drogheda United, with Dundalk, with Pats, with all the clubs I've been with. The fans in the League of Ireland, there's no one better. And the way they all come together in a time of crisis, it's hats off. And in this case as well, County Louth, Drogheda and Dundalk and coming together and rivalries aside. So hats off and well done to everyone.
I think there's a nice little bit of symmetry there with the fact that Drogheda have to be on in the final straight after, so it was all timed nicely with the fixture today, wasn't it?
Drogheda got a good hammering there before he came on.
Right, well, we'll ask you about the game, Daruis, before you start hammering me. So, what was your thoughts on how the match went tonight?
I like to look at Dundalk tonight, particularly in the first half. I thought they had more shape and balance. I wasn't a fan of the 3-5-2 for this group of players, even though they won the FAI Cup last year. They looked to have more balance tonight with the back four. We talked about Dundalk's success over the last few years. The wide attacking play for me, Gannon fullbacks, Gannon Massey, Daryl Horgan, Michael Duffy, McElhenney coming from the outside in was a big feature. Look, the game evolves and players evolve and squads change, but you've still got some of them players within the squad. So I felt the 3-5-2 wasn't suiting them, even though the European run. So I thought he had more balance in the first half, played quite well, dominated the game. No, I do think Drogheda's intensity was down a bit in the first half. The 2 games in the week, they're a part-time side. But the first half, definitely. Second half, I thought Dundalk was fairly standoffish. Drogheda dominated a lot of the game, a lot of possession. Didn't create any clear-cut chances. But all in all, really, I think the squad of players with Dundalk, with the right, obviously, if they can get the manager situation sorted out, I think they could go on a right push.
Speaking of that, Daruis, will you come in for the end of the season?
No, only if they stay down the bottom for another 15 games and they lose all their money, then give us a shout.
Daruis, like on all the podcasts we've had today, we've been talking about what's happening behind the scenes, and I mean, you know better than anybody, having been involved in the club in 2012, the last time it was kind of in crisis situation. How do you feel for the players right now going through that, or having to deal with everything that's going on off the field?
Yeah, it's tough on the players. It's hard. There seems to be a lot going on off the field, and managers in place or management team in place, they need to be left alone to do their work. I don't know. There's talk of squads of 38 and 40 players, and this stuff is crazy. Your first team squad needs to be anything from 18 to 24-5, and you need to do your work accordingly. That said, players are getting paid. There's no issue. They're getting paid and they're there to do a job. So they've got to, which they are. They're professional outfit and all. The players wise, but I think the uncertainty with Filippo and Shane Keegan obviously has a big bearing. Who was the manager? The players would have known who was calling the shots, and that's not a problem. It's worked for Alan Matthews and Stevie O'Donnell, and you don't see a word about it. The same situation. Dundalk are getting kind of hammered for it now, but it's working at Pats. Now, winning games nothing's a problem when you're winning games. When you're losing games, everything becomes a problem. Everything, and that goes right through from the top to the bottom, right down to players. Players give excuses. This is not right. That's not right. But when you're not winning games, that said, the squad of players they have there, doesn't matter who's managing them. They shouldn't have had to wait to this point to win a game. So look, obviously you'd like to see a manager in place quickly. Players need to get a manager in place. Need to get focused together as a group. And I really think this squad of players is as good as Rovers. Rovers have lost some key players. You take 2-3, any team in the world's best players out. McAniff is gone. Jack Bourne, for me, are the 2 best players. Take them out of any team in the world, and they're going to struggle. So Rovers are doing really well. They haven't hit form yet. But I think this group within Dundalk, and there's a couple of new players going to take a bit of bedding time, but I think they can really go with the right manager. We'll have a push for it.
Good stuff. So Daruis, having been in the hot seat before, when players rock up late to training and that, there's always fines. So what do you think we should do for staff there, just strolling in 20 minutes late?
Steph, well, listen, to be honest, lads, out of the three, Steph is probably the best, so I wouldn't find me best player. I look after you, Steph.
Well, look, if we go back, Daruis, obviously you were involved in the club in 2011 and 2012. Just talking back about your time at the club, I think you were lucky enough to have a kit man in me in 2011. We had a good squad that year, didn't we? We had a good first 11, and we probably should have done a bit better had we got a bit more backing at the time, you know.
Yeah, well, I think we had a great group of players. To be fair, I think Rovers won the league that year, and we played them up in Tallaght early in the season. I think we were 2-0 up and ended up 2-2, but we absolutely pummeled them. We had great players: Colin Hawkins, Dean Bennett, Jason Bourne, Greg Bulger, Simon Madden, Ross Gaynor, Quiggs. Quiggs was brilliant for us, but the problem was, and I think Ian and Paul Cook were good friends, Ian Foster, and Ian had taken a chance. Cookie had done it at Sligo where he'd signed kind of maybe 13, 14, and you spend a lot of your budget on 13, 14 good, really good players, and you subsidise it then with young players. And if you can get through the season with an injury here or there, some of the young players we had come in and done brilliant, but to do it consistently, and we got 5 or 6 injuries together, and it kind of killed us mid-season. So we were very unfortunate. If you had been able to sign a couple of players mid-season, yeah, who knows? But it was definitely we did the Santanta Cup final, which you're probably unlucky. And did Michael Hector play with us? And where is he now? Fulham.
That's right.
Fulham now, yeah.
Michael's career was like Michael. I had spoke to Michael Redmore, letting him go, and he came over to us. His head was in the bin. He was all over the place, and you just Fozzie. We all done work with him gradually, bringing him back, his confidence back, and it took him time. And by the time he left us, he was a different player, and look, he's done well for himself.
Absolutely. Then moving on to 2012, it was a tough year, you know. I think it was tough for you as well, coming in obviously under Sean and then having to take over halfway through the season. But I think what Dundalk fans remember you most for is keeping us up, you know, and you've been the catalyst probably for the success that we've had in the years since then.
Yeah, it was. I suppose it was like, Sean came in and. Sean, look, he signed some great players. He signed John Mount and Chris Shields, who are the backbone of Dundalk's success. Probably just we lacked a bit more experience, and mid-season it wasn't going well, and Gates were down, and so Sean was gone. My first game was Shamrock Rovers, and we drew 1-1. But I didn't know what they were. I went to a board meeting on the Monday. They were going to close the club down on the Friday. They couldn't sustain the budget. I think it was 7.5, 8 grand a week. So for me, it was a job as well. It was me, because that was my job. And so I made the suggestion: if we cut the budget, if we can let maybe 8 players go and replace them with amateurs, I said the most likely scenario is we're going to be relegated. Because we are bottom of the table and you're letting 7 or 8 players go. It's not a good taste in the group either. You're letting some of their mates go and so on. So we gave that a go, and to be fair, we got 6. I think we got 6 players out, and we signed some amateurs, and we just had to roll with it. For me, I wasn't comfortable with it because I hadn't really signed the players, and your name was going to be attached to it as such if we were relegated. But I think Monaghan were in trouble, they were in trouble. Them coming in, we got to the FAI Cup semi-final, and we were kind of building towards the playoff, and luckily we won the playoffs.
I think that night down in Waterford was probably one of the better nights. You know, I think it's up there with probably 2014 in terms of celebrations. We started celebrating Friday night. I didn't finish till the following Saturday. You know, so it was a good one.
They were great times.
I know you came on the hammer me, Daruis.
The first leg, Pingu, first leg in Oriel Park, and just before the match, I had met Stevie Marr, and I said, look, no matter what, you just don't get sent off and stay in the pitch. Boom, what happens? He turned around after me and said, never say that to me again, please.
But I think we got, remember, I got a motivational video done, and we got all different clips and gladiator music, and we had that, remember that before the game? And after down the line, when we stayed up, Stephen Marr said, that video sent me mad. So, but because at half time I wanted to, even we were winning 1-0, but we weren't playing well in the first. In the first leg. First half we were 1-0 down, and I was. But I was mad with Marzi, you know. But we had to try and, you know, make it about sticking together, and the rest of the boys bailing them out. And we actually went, if you remember, Dean, and it was looking back at it was a crazy move. And it's probably, I was young enough. I was only 22. It's probably not something I do now, because when Stephen sent off, we went 4-3-2 for the whole second half, because Griffin and Rafter were probably two of our better players, and we wanted to keep them on the pitch. So we went 4-3-2, winning the game 1-0. It was probably a crazy move looking back on it, but it paid off. We drew 2-2. Yeah,
it was some night. I remember on the second leg on the way down to Waterford, Harry Taft, God rest him, the game was kicking off at 7:45, and we had set up the Saviour Club Committee, and we organised busloads of fans. I think there was probably about 5 or 6 buses came down, and they stopped, I think, just outside Waterford for a pint, and Harry had to run in and get all the lads out from the
Do you talk to Michael Rafter much at all, Daruis?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't see many of the players. I see Stevie Mack a couple of times, Mark Griffin, obviously the Dundalk lads I would see. Greg Bulger, I coached them at Pats. Who else? From my time, I see Jason Bourne I keep in touch with. I've got to keep Mark Quigley I coached as well at Pats. Keep in touch with a lot of them. But, you know, as football moves on and time moves on and we all have kids and everything, you don't have time for much all else, you know.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, Daruis. If you've coached a lot of clubs and you've coached at all levels. If you were to pick someone, the best, I've always interested in managers' opinion. Who would be the most technically gifted player you've ever coached?
Mark Quigley.
Great.
Mark Quigley was a different level. He could do anything with a ball. And to be fair, he was always like that as a schoolboy, and you know, he's from Inner City, Dublin, Belvedere. He's naturally a strong lad. Like we'd have the lads in the gym, and Quiggs would be saying, "Can I go out? Can we go out? And me and you do ball walk." And he didn't need to be in the gym, but naturally talented. He was. His ability was unbelievable. He could do anything with a football. Like Killian Brennan was very good too. To be fair to Killian, was, you know. But Quigley, for natural ability, was a different level.
His goals that season were just phenomenal, weren't they?
And then the following year he got Player of the Year with Sligo. You know, he probably should have stayed in Sligo, but he's a homeboard, Mark. He was travelling up and down to Sligo. He wanted to be in Dublin, and that was the same. He was in England, but I'd say Ian. You asked Ian Foster that question. Bearing in mind the players he's coaching under 17 with England and so on, and I guarantee you, Mark Quigley is in his top 5 players as well. You know, he's a very talented player. Probably didn't fulfill it. He was probably good enough to play in the Premier League, Quiggs. You know, maybe if he had have settled down in England and wasn't homesick or so on. You know.
Yeah, he's looking after Sheriff now, is he?
Yeah, he's done quite well with Sheriff. Yeah, he's still up there as far as I know. And they beat the FAI Junior Cup final last year. I think they won it maybe the year before. But yeah, he's doing, and I believe he's very good at the coaching because he had a great understanding of the game for someone.
Yeah.
You know, when it's not going well for Mark, you're not winning games. Sometimes he can look lazy, but his will to and his desire to win. What was he like, Pingu? He was unbelievable, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was class. I'll never forget the game up in Bray after Damien Richardson didn't pick him for the League of Ireland select. You know, they played the tournament with was it Man City?
Man United was in Lansdowne Road, wasn't it?
No, I think it was the one Man City Celtic, and there was one team. Yeah, and he didn't get picked for that, and he went and scored a hat trick and just ran straight over to the gantry and started pointing at his name. Yeah. But that was the type of one, you know, he would have used that as motivation. Just I'll show him, you know, he was top lad, great lad too.
Did he get a hat trick that night?
He scored a hat trick that night, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember up in the gantry when it happened. All right, yeah.
He got a hat trick against Linfield that time. That was some hat trick. Did he get a hat trick on 2 or 3? And
probably scored.
Stuff. One of the best goals you ever seen. I seen him scoring in training, and it's hard to explain it. We were doing 11v11 game, and we were doing shape, and the ball came from Simon Madden at right full. And Quiggs kind of come off the shoulder of the centre half. So it's about a 50-yard ball. And it just comes over the centre half's head. And he trapped it underneath his foot and rolled it through, I think it was Shane Guthrie's legs, and put the ball into the top corner. I just wanted to stop trying and just, like, lads, ever just go in. It was the best goal I've ever seen live. And it was like, you'll never see it again. You can't record it. No, nothing of it. It was unbelievable. But that was Mark. He was very talented. And for me, it was probably Chris Forrester was probably another one that I coached that was very good, but Quiggs was different level.
Yeah, Quiggs could do stuff like, and you'd just stand back in amazement, like even being in the ground. Sensational player and a good lad as well.
I remember he scored one. He scored one against Pats. I don't want to be going on about Quiggs all night. Darius, you're mad to start hammering me, but But I remember he scored one up in Pats. I don't know if you remember it. I think he won the ball back inside his own half, and then he sent it out wide. And I think it was Maddie ended up crossing it in, but it was a play of probably about 4 or 5 passes down the pitch, and he finished it off. But he was like something out of the Matrix. He was hanging in the air for about 5 or 10 yards. And
even the game, I remember that goal, but the game against Rovers, it's that year as well, 2011, we were winning 2-0, and it was, I think it was 2-1, 2-all. They kind of came strong the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So, but for the last 10 minutes, then we were kind of hanging on, I think. And I remember Quiggs dropping back in early at centre half, winning headers from corner kicks, clearing balls, and he could read the game so well as well. He knew where the ball was going to land. He was very good in the air. He kind of got everything, but it was when he wanted to apply himself, when he wanted to play for the manager, for the club, he was definitely the best.
See, when you were saying that we were under pressure, Darius, that was usually when Fozzie had stopped listening to you, wasn't
it? Or he might have been listening to you. You were feeding Fozzie too much jellies. That's why he left. So you were back to give him jellies to hold. We put on about 3 stone. Yeah, Gaffer, here's jellies, here's stone. Are we going for lunch? That's all you used to say. Come in with a big chicken fillet roll. Listen, professional setup. Finger landing, chicken fillet roll, 2 cans of Coke. Can't beat it, lads. Can't beat it, lads.
And a pack of hunky dories. Don't forget that.
Sorry, the hunky dories. Don't forget that.
And that's only what he was showing you.
Darius, just to bring it back to Dundalk there for a second, just when we're looking at this managerial appointment that you talked about earlier, how do you feel with the how the club has been running at the moment? Do you think is that going to have an effect on who may apply for this job, or is Dundalk still an attractive job to anybody?
Listen, it's a very attractive job, and the financial backing behind them. The financial backing behind them, so it is an attractive job. The Dundalk Football Club, one of the best. The fan base is unreal. You know, everything is in place. You know, for the team to go and do well, they need a strong manager. The boundaries are set up from the start. The chairman, I don't know what the ins and outs, obviously, but the chairman can't be interfering in who's playing and who's not playing, and right down to who's been signed. Jimmy Jilton's in as director of football, and you know, any of the boys that I would know that worked with Jim and Shamrock Rovers say Jim's an excellent coach, cracking football fella, you know. I don't know anything else about him. So Jim obviously is an insight. He's played the game at the highest level. So in relation to signing players and running stuff like that, no problem. The football needs to be left down to the manager. Otherwise, it doesn't matter who comes in, it ain't going to work. You know, if there's interference, it ain't going to work. I know there's some local lads being let go from within the club. Leaves a sour taste as well, you know. If you continue to do that, again, we're back to what we spoke about earlier. Winning games covers all this, covers a multitude. None of this would be a problem if Dundalk were top of the league, but they're not. So all these things are becoming reasons, and they're becoming issues. You know, does Dundalk, the success of where they are from 2012 right through Stephen Kenny's era, the European ones, it's so entwined with the fans, the club. Players are all living up there. There's a whole integration of success, and you know, it's so to kind of gradually tear that apart bit by bit by stepping away from the community. And you see Drogheda United and what they're doing, and I have to say the owners of Drogheda United, they're so involved in the community, and I've heard it over the years. I was worked with Drogheda United for years, and of what they're going to do, and they're going to get involved in the community, and they all talk about it, but they don't actually do it. But this year, or the last couple of years, you know, how engrossed they are in the community, always trying to help, always, and it's attracting people to the club. And you know what, when you give out to, it comes back. You know, it gives a persona, it gives an energy around the club, and it's all good and it's all positive. So I think that Dundalk need to get back to basics with that, but I don't know, maybe the owners, you know, the director of football or someone that's running the club, for me, needs to be local.
I think that's job. You know, Jim's job is going to be so important, isn't it? Though for the next appointment, because and like you say, if he's a good, strong character, that might just give the room for the new appointment to do exactly what they need to do on the pitch and work with the players.
And that's what you want. You just want to work with the players, pick your team, and not be like told. Any manager would is waiting. You know, he's told what to do, he'll go. He ain't staying. So you know, someone that it's probably going to be outside of Ireland. I don't see anyone coming in for me who's out there that's available. I worked with Paul Doolan in Drogheda United, and he's brilliant. To be honest, he's a different level. How he's not working in this country, I don't know. But someone like Paul Doolan going in there, a very strong manager with that group of players, he'd be brilliant. But I don't think Paul would take interference from anywhere. So, you know, maybe Jim knows someone that's a good relationship with Jim, and Jim can balance between maybe the board chairman and the manager, and that might work.
I think it has to work for the club going forward, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that will be the option.
Yeah, it's got to work. It's got to work. There's been a lot of changes in the off season as well, and you know, behind the scenes. So, you know, they need to get things going and winning games. You know, the first team winning games covers all this. You know, we'll kind of, that's what it's about at the end of the day. You know, but you win the next 2-3. You're up. You're looking up. Positive front foot. Fans are back in. You know, everything's moving forward. You draw one of them, you draw two, you lose one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And finally, Daruis, just, you know, looking at the current team now, who would excite you in the team at the moment? Who do you enjoy watching?
I like him. Yukovkis is a good, very good player. The new signings, hand looks really good. He looks really quick. Confident young boy, works hard as well off the ball. Obviously, I'd like to see McMillan play. For me, McMillan would play up front the whole time. I think Pat's just going off the boil a bit with injuries and whatnot. Listen, Pat Holman, we know what he can do, but David plays on the shoulder a bit, and I think with McElhenney and these players want to play in the space. Michael Duffy can come inside. You need someone that's going to stretch the line, going to play on the shoulder the whole time, and no one does it better than McMillan. I think Cleary and Boyle, that partnership last year, that was chopped and changed. So, you know, you'd like to see them there solid as well. You need your back four solid. Goal. Peter Cherry's got to play in goal as well.
Perfect.
Daruis, before I let you go, I've got one more question for you, and just think very carefully now before you answer this one. All right. So every guest that's been on the show to date, we've had John Flanagan on, and he's been on LMFM every week since. We had Tiernan Mulvena on the next week. He was on Watch LOI. Dave Rogers was on last week. We think he's getting the manager's job. Do you want a job back in the League of Ireland?
No, I am quite happy, Dean. I am quite happy, enjoying my life. I did 2 knee replacements in 2019, so I have a good job in Dublin. I work for a good company, so I'm just doing a bit local. I have no interest in going back in the League of Ireland at this present time. But I'm just, me 2 young kids are playing, and you know, to get to a time where you have to family comes first, you know. And I love watching the games, and I'm really enjoying getting to watch all the games and see the different players. And but for this present time, Dean, I'm happy where you kind of sicken me with League of Ireland, to be honest with you. You've got anyone off. Working with you for 2 years, nearly finished being manager.
Yeah, we're only on this a few weeks, and the boys are already trying to get him out.
Steph, that's what you were late. You're saying, like, to the missus, I can't stay here for this long. I can't stay here for this. How am I going to listen to Dean Ellis?
I'm going to have to look for an excuse to get off early as well.
No, listen, lads, I've no interest at the minute. I'm just, I'm happy enough now in my life, and I'm enjoying watching the games. I'm doing a bit of coaching local, buying herbs, and I enjoy that. Just me mates, and it's good. But no, I'm happy enough for that now, for now.
And what's the money like up there for a move for me? Like,
Steph, you have as much chance coming in there as Pingu has coming in on the coaching staff. No, Steph, we would love to have you there. We're always in the market for quality. We're always in the market for quality.
I'm a bit over the hill now, so.
Listen, you need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. That's it. Every level. It's very hard to find.
Yeah, thanks a million for coming on.
He wouldn't have time for that.
Which?
Said Steph, he's on to his 5th child. He wouldn't have time to go play football.
Steph, 5 kids.
5 kids, yeah.
What, you see, Steph's going to start looking to play everywhere. He needs to get out every night when he comes home from work. He's one of them lads that goes to work and he's in the car park for 3 hours.
Overtime.
Overtime, yeah.
Thanks a million for coming on, Daruis. You're not welcome back again. So
No, listen, lads, it was a pleasure, and it's great to see what you're doing, and particularly with the head in the game stuff and everything. It's brilliant, and fair play to you. Credit to yourself, Sam and Dog. You're all except for Pingo. Pingo never gives me credit.
Nice one,
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Bye.
Cheers, lads. We're not going to get a chance to discuss the game ourselves at all, are we? I believe it's.
All I forgot to mention is white cardigan.
Yeah. Have we got a
famous white cardigan? Is
our next guest waiting, Chris?
Yes.
Well, I suppose before we talk about the game, we might as well bring him in. He was at the game. Ladies and gentlemen, a legend, Mr. Jerry Malone.
Hi, Jerry.
How's it going, Jerry?
Good evening.
How are you, Jerry?
Well, lads, how's it going? This is the first time I've been on any of these programs, so you have to give me. I'm not used to this. Everything good tonight from Oriel Park. It was a good show, 3 good points, and instead of the pressure after the games to get a story or get anything from the managers, everything was grand tonight. The win thoroughly deserved, and Drogheda were very good in the second half. And when they pulled the goal back in the 90th minute, and the linesman said, "God, I don't know what's going to happen here." But thanks be to God, the 4 minutes were very, very quick, and they got the 3 points.
And Jerry, was there much of an improvement tonight? Did you see compared to so far this year? Like, did you see reason for optimism?
Vast improvement.
In all areas, or?
Yeah, I did, Chris. I thought tonight was the first time I saw a manager in charge of his own. Sorry?
No, go on ahead, Jerry.
What were you saying, Chris?
You were saying, though, Jerry, there was a there was a manager in charge.
Basically, tonight was the first time I saw. Yes, the manager playing the formation that we're all used to. He was playing 4 at the back and the 1 up front, and they were playing very well in all departments. I think Daruis, the full back, is absolutely excellent. I think Sahibo, the new signing, given time, I think in the next couple of weeks he's going to be a sensation. I think I think David McMillan himself tonight should be one to be considered. And I have to say as well, Solid and the defence are far more comfortable with him. I don't like saying players Alessi has been he's been a good lad, and it's very hard to come to a new country and settle into the team. But the manager had to change it. And when I was interviewing him last week after, I said to him, "You're going to have to make the change, Jim. You're going to have to bring Cherry in." And he said to me, "Oh, really? Does that mean I don't have to look for a manager? I'll put you in charge." He made it tonight, and he made it tonight. And he actually asked me to be there at 4:45 tonight to help him pick the team.
And what, Jerry? What did you say to BB when you were dropping him?
I raised an interesting point with him as well. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what did you say to BB when you were dropping him?
Sorry, what did you want to say?
What did you say to BB when you were dropping him from the starting lineup?
What did I say?
Yeah.
Well,
You're not picking the team.
No, I wasn't talking to Phoebe. I wasn't doing anything. But I mean, it was fair for her to see. He just has dropped. I mean, in the last few games, the number of points he's given away, and it's not just him, to be fair, but it's mistakes by the goalkeeper. You have to have a goalkeeper. That's where you start. That's the foundation of your team. And if you haven't got a goalkeeper that you can trust, it's no use. I mean, BB has been taking off some great saves, and then he's thrown clangers, and that's just no of a goalkeeper you can trust. Peter Cech, even though he's 37 and has been gone from Dundalk since 2014, is still sound. And thank to bring him in, even though they originally intended him as a sub goalkeeper. But there's a lot more, I mean, going right and going wrong. After the game, I said to the manager, or to the acting manager, I said, Jim, if I was Bill Hulsizer tonight, I would be ringing you and offering you the job and asking you to take care of the team at least until the rest of the season. I said, bringing in somebody else now at this stage, I don't know. And he turned around and looked. I asked him if he'd be interested in doing it. Not at this moment, he said. I asked him 3 times.
He's not interested.
Not at this moment. Not at this moment. And then he turned around and he said to me, was I Bill Hulsizer? And I said, no, I'm not Bill Hulsizer. So, I mean, if I was Bill Hulsizer, I wouldn't be in Oriel Park, I'd be somewhere else. But the thing about it is, if I was Bill Hulsizer, I'd have a new stadium for Dundalk.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry, would you... Go on, Seth, sorry.
I'd have a brand, I'd have a brand new stadium. In all seriousness, I mean, on Wednesday I spoke to Jim, and I said, did he realise that there's a mass that the club has lost its connection with the community? And he said no, he wasn't aware of that. He said that the owners love Dundalk and the Dundalk people. But I said to him, was he aware that there was a gap or a loss in contact with the community? And it's big. He said he was aware of that. I was kind of surprised by, he said he has the people in place that can change that. But like, you have to look at it. They've lost some of the local sponsors. They've lost, and that's the life and blood of a football club. And Daruis was dead right. He's saying they've done an awful lot of things wrong, and that's not Gilberton. These things have been done wrong before Magilton's come in as director of football. And you know, like, they've lost the sponsors, like the Holland Credit Union, who are fantastic sponsor clubs and organisations right throughout the area, and they give away a fantastic amount of money and a huge contribution. That's just one example, and there's something wrong when you see that. And I mean, basically, since Bill Hulsizer took over as chairman, the club has just basically started to disintegrate. And you have the situation with Vinnie Perth, and then you bring in a manager who basically his experience is under 18s, under 18 players. That's not, you don't do that. And he had no license, no pro license, or anything. Now it's bizarre. It all fell into place for him that he got them to the qualifying stages or the group stage and the Cup. That's fine. This is Oscar stuff, and as Pat Dolan said on Friday, that Filippo should get an Oscar, and so should Bill, because what's going on in Dundalk at the moment, you could make a film out of it.
It'd be like Titanic at times.
I don't know if anybody wants to ask me questions. I'll keep if you want to keep going.
Well, Jerry, just a quick question for you, Jerry. If you had someone, if you had a short list of managers, who would your preference be for the next manager? Still no.
Didn't like that question.
You know, you're asking me. I'm hearing so many. Yeah, no, I honestly, I was thinking about that maybe at the start of the week, and like I heard the Coleraine manager, the Larne manager could be available, and the one man that I possibly would look at is Healy from Linfield, and that at this process he was one that was being linked. But you've got to understand, there's no manager is going to walk into that club at the moment with the way the situation is, known that you've a player who's constantly going to be on the phone to you night and day, and who's constantly interfering in the running of the team, straight as Dad said, straight out to just move into the distance and leave the team to the manager, and we'll have to be given a guarantee of that. There's so much example where you know, the club since Vinnie Perth has gone. I mean, it started. It was there before the unfortunate break we had due to COVID and the unfortunate break with people, with supporters not being able to go to the game. But like the thing about it is, it's there's no manager going to walk into that club. No Irish manager is going to walk into that club knowing what's happened over the last while. It's just been a circus, and Pat Dolan is right. You could make it. You could actually make a top-rated Hollywood film of it.
Yeah.
And that's not that.
And
I mean, and that's it's. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm telling you, the players that they've even signed. You know, I wouldn't have signed them. Well, there's a lot of the players I would have, but I would never. Like going back again, like crazy stuff where you had the manager, negotiating the contracts this season. Some only getting 1 year contracts. They all only got 1 year contracts. Sean Hoare only getting 6 month contract. Sean Gannon, the best full-back in the country, being let go when he wanted to stay. And then some of the Dundalk supporters were given out about the fact that he didn't say goodbye to the club. But okay, maybe he could have handled that way. He has to think of his future. And, you know, the team has been the heart of the Stephen Kenny team that could still have done a lot. The heart was really that team. And you know, there's only one man responsible for that, and that's Bill Hulsider.
And Jerry, have you had any dealings with Bill, or have you tried to contact him?
Chris, don't talk so frightened. Well, I did have one time I contacted him. I can't really. To be fair, now I can't really talk about that. I've had one conversation with him, and that's about it. I can't.
That's fair enough. That's all right.
It was an off the record conversation. I can't talk about that, but I mean, you know,
that's no problem at all.
And I won't break that. But having said that, when I've come away and I've judged things, I mean, Dundalk FC, we need either a total revamp of Oriel Park, or we need to complete a new stadium somewhere, or we need. I mean, that's in the long term. That's supposed to be, and this is what I fear. We're dealing with hedge funds in Peak 6, and their interest is to make a profit, and that's fine. They're not really going to make much of a profit as on Dundalk FC the way things are at the moment. And my worry, and I said it to the director of football on Wednesday in a serious question. I said, was there a possibility? Because I am worried about this. I have a serious concern about this. I said to him, is he aware that there's a possibility that Peak 6 may pull out at the end of the season? And he turned around. And I have to say, Jimmy Gilman is honestly straight down the line. He's on the level in this kind of situation. I think it's hard to deal with. All the time, you know, it's very hard to get a straight answer. He gave me the straight answer. He said, I honestly don't know. He said, I don't know if Peak 6 will be there at the end of the season. So that's all I can tell you. And I think there still will be, but you know, if they're not interested in investing money in an infrastructure, I mean, you have to have a proper infrastructure of some kind. Now, previous owners in that club made a bag. They could have had the DKIT grounds, and it wasn't used. That wasn't taken up. I know certainly Paul Brown's ownership and Andy's, that was different. But you know, but things could have been done. Time Jerry Mathis was in charge. Unfortunately, he had a chance. Jerry decided no. And in fairness to Jerry, you see, the problem in his situation was, I mean, the crash had hit at that stage, and I mean, he has to look after his own things. And he's a man that's been very much accredited. Whatever improvements, and there have been a lot of improvements to Oriel Park. It's Jerry Mathis that has done it, and he doesn't actually get half the credit, only for Jerry Mattis there would be no Dundalk Football Club. You know, and I mean, I think the situation basically is we as a community and as a club, I think the people of Dundalk have got to be aware we're dealing with a company that are interested in a profit, and that's it. They're not interested in putting money into a ground. They were in with Bournemouth last season, and Bournemouth are building a new stadium, and they pulled out of Bournemouth themselves. Now, they hadn't a holding chair in it, but they did pull out. So, I mean, I think supporters should be very much aware. Pick Six have done an awful lot of good for Dundalk. They've pumped huge money into the club, and I don't want them to go. I want them to stay. But I want Bill Hulsizer. The problem if Bill Hulsizer wants to stay as chairman, that's fine. But there has to be a proper communication set up. There has to be a strategic plan. That has to be set in place. Ask me who I would take in as manager. You know, I really would leave Jim Magilton in charge for the rest of the season and go from there.
That's fair enough, Jerry.
Ask me any other questions.
No, I think we're going to leave it, Jerry. We'll let you relax.
Stefan, where are you?
He said,
Jerry.
Where are you, Stefan?
I wouldn't let him ask you any questions, Jerry.
I'm under strict orders that I can't ask you certain questions by Dean.
What? You can ask me any question you want. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask.
Well, I had one question come into me during the week when someone told me you were coming on, and it was just to ask you about Trevor Anderson.
Okay. I have no problem talking about it. I could write it Trevor Anderson. I mean, Trevor Anderson era was the worst era in the history of the football club. Dundalk won the FAI Cup in 2002 in May. I don't know if any of you were around backstage, but it was not nearly an all-local team. It was fantastic. And Martin Murray was manager. Martin was manager the week before that, and Monaghan, the club were relegated. I had to ask the chairman then, the late Des Denning, who did so much for the club as well, with a club behind him for the following season. He said he couldn't say that yet, that this giving them the backing, and that led to a lot of hassle up to the cup final. Anyway, on to Trevor Anderson. We were 5 games into the season and had a reasonable start to the new season. This was in 2002. It was the transition over to the new summer season. There was 2 seasons that time, summer and winter. And Trevor took him in anyway. He was announced on a Monday night. I remember getting a phone call, and me and Trevor Anderson had a very fiery relationship, that's for sure, because he only won in the region of 7 games out of around 60. He basically was, I have to say, no disrespect, he was the worst manager Dundalk ever had. I have to say that. His record stands for itself. Great record at Linfield, but his record with Dundalk was dreadful. And what really annoyed me at the time was when he still had a good basis as the cup winning team in 2002, and they were relegated at this stage. And when you kept asking about the team, certain players, he kept saying, "Not my team, they're not my team." Ask Sean Flanagan, he'll tell you the reaction that they got. Trevor, after that, then when he went into his own, he got his own team. It was dreadful. They finished the worst ever position in the League of Ireland for the Dundalk team. They were fighting against re-election. We were down in Kilkenny, and if we finished in second from the bottom in the league that season, we were gone. We were in re-election to the league. We won the game in Kilkenny, and Dundalk didn't have to go through that process. But at the end came when the Dundalk fans finally had enough. They've been expressing their anger about his situation. I never saw the like of it in my life. But the Gardaí from Dundalk had to protect the manager from Dundalk supporters, from their own manager. And in the end, anyway, it was one night, Des Denning decided he had to go. Frank Mullen was there. He decided, 3 of them decided to go. And so there was a meeting on the Saturday morning. Des went on the Saturday morning before the directors met. They had already met the 3 previous days. 3 of them left. Only O'Kane came in as chair, and the new board then decided to go down to tell Trevor that they were cutting. They asked him to resign. Trevor will resign, but he said he wanted to be paid off, so they had to pay off his contract. It was a 3-year contract. Look, I mean, I was waiting for Trevor. Trevor was in the nights of some games that were so bad, but I stayed. And Jerry Prendergast from the Democrats. I know Jerry's health is not good anymore, and God love him, he's a great character. But the 2 of us would wait for Trevor, and told Jerry would not go, and we're staying. We're going to talk to this guy, and he could come 2 hours later. He could be in the dressing room for 2 hours, and out when he came, I'd be there. I'd be waiting for him. And it became such when the people were getting great enjoyment out of the Jerry Malone, Trevor Anderson show on LMFM at 20 past.
Jerry, I think we're losing a bit of the signal there. I think we'll bring Jerry back on another time where we got a bit better Wi-Fi.
Your question, Kevin.
Perfect, Jerry. Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks for being. There's loads we want to hear from you.
Okay.
I think if we get a better connection, maybe.
Yeah,
the next
we'll get
time.
you on again, Jerry.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry.
Well, time for us to finally get to chat about the match, lads. That was
hectic night.
That was a pity there with
yeah.
Jerry, because I think Jerry gives a real honest assessment at times, and except it's like Jerry in the press boxes for many a year as well there lately, and I think it would have been good to come on, because he's been fairly critical of the old managerial setup that we had there, and he would have been good just to get his thoughts. Just that we couldn't hear him as clear, so apologies to everybody there.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll go into the discussion about tonight's match with the lads. If you would like to put your name for man of the match forward, we can take those submissions now. We'll discuss that kind of at the end of the chat. So Chris, I'll fire over to you straight away. What do you think of tonight?
Yeah, I thought it looked a lot more balanced in that team. I think, Shields didn't seem to be having to do everything in the middle of the park all of a sudden. Zebo kind of sat in there, carried the ball when needed. The back, look, and I was critical of Cleary last week, but I actually thought he played really well tonight. He had good feet for the second goal. He had a good range of passing. Once or twice he swapped side by side with a long range pass, and it went straight to feet to Duffy a couple of times. So I actually thought he was much improved this week for us. I think McMillan as well looks hungry up front. Probably our most informed player that we have, and judging by a lot of the comments tonight, we're going to fall down probably between McMillan and Han for man of the match tonight. So I think that probably says a lot about it as well. But I think that was much improved. You could nearly see, look, we're unbeaten in 3 now as well. So there's a lot to start building on in this. I was so close to having a clean sheet there tonight. I thought that would have really capped off a great night.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but I think there's reason to be optimistic for a change.
Yeah, Gally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's what I enjoyed probably the first 20 minutes. Anyway, the game was just flat out. There wasn't a lot of chances, but they seemed to be just added. Everybody seemed to want it. Everybody wanted the ball. I thought we were decent going forward. Han, I thought, was brilliant. What I mean by brilliant compared to what he has been, where other players have been. We're talking about Cleary had a great game. Cleary's passing, I think one of the passes, I think it was the first half, 50-yard ball over the top. We do everything but finish it. I actually think we should have scored 3. I think young O'Kane had a chance, just wouldn't sit for him. Han could have had another one. But yeah, look, it was a bit nervy when they got the goal. We just really, it's we'll go back to this, it's just as well we scored 2. It would have ended up another draw, and just have to start cutting out silly goals. You know, it's look at all goals are silly. You know, if you're conceding goals, they're bad goals generally. But if they can just tighten it up at the back, I do think they'll work maybe a third goal. But I think Drogheda played okay. Mickey Duffy was missing maybe in the second half for most of the second half, but I thought overall, yeah, much improved. Midfield didn't seem so. There wasn't such a gap in midfield with Sahibo playing. Yeah, I thought we were decent. I thought Tchaikovsky was great. Han for me, probably if McMillan grabs another goal, he probably just shades it for Han, but from Han. But for me, Han probably overall the balance of play would be my man of the match. I know we haven't got that far yet, but yeah, I thought we were decent. Yeah, I think James Brown gives everybody trouble. I think he gave Tchaikovsky a right. I think he's probably on his day. James Brown's probably the best right back in the league at the minute. But yeah, look, I think if we can, we got to go up a level from that. But it's a start. There are no walkovers. The club beware. There's an excellent setup under Tim Clancy. I thought we were good. Yeah, I enjoyed it was good to see McMillan start the game. We were talking about it last week. I just think Hogan needed a rest, and I think we have it's a different kind of game up front than McMillan's playing. Yes, look, it's positive. Like you said, look, I know it's not a great start of the season, but it is 3 unbeaten. You've got to take the positives when they're there, you know.
Yep. Steph?
Yeah, like we played the formation that everyone wants. The players near enough that we want as well. The pass and the link up, I thought Dummigan was good as well at right full. Some of his link up play, like I know he's been getting stick the last couple of weeks. It's nice to see him playing. Sahibo was very good in the middle, linked up everything. Some of his cross field balls were quality. Like he was picking men out, like just turning, picking men out and switching the play, putting Drogheda on the back foot. And I think that's where we were getting the foothold in the game. We were dominating possession, especially first half, and everything was going well. And just up, like I know Drogheda came out well in the second half, but like the 3 changes then again puts us on the back foot, puts us under pressure unnecessarily. I thought, I don't know, it seemed like they were making 2 changes, and then next of all Leahy's getting ready as well. So I don't know if there was an injury there somewhere that might have. But when you're taking on 3 players at the same time, it's hard for them, 3 of them, to just straight into a game, especially like it would seem like a good tempo in it.
Yeah.
But no, it's a massive improvement on what we've seen so far. We're very good in large spells of the game. Drogheda are a good side, dogged, work hard. The fullbacks get forward, like Gally mentioned. I think Brown is very, very good. Deegan was harrying people in the midfield, nicking balls away, and I thought he was very good for them as well. But I can't see them being in trouble. But I think it's a lot more positive than we have seen. It would have been just a real sickener if we had conceded after all the good work in the first half. But it's 3 points, and hopefully we can kick on from here. I still think they need to sort out the managerial position, like though. Just get someone in charge. Whether there's uncertainty here, like we're going to be going away to different teams, we need to have someone in setting up. But it was a big improvement for me anyway.
Yeah.
What would have been nice though is if, you know, Drogheda had us under pressure at times, and especially the start of the second half, I thought there was a lot of Drogheda pressure, but we seemed to soak it up. And we were, you know, there was a couple of long range shots and they were kind of snatching at 1 or 2. They were never settled on the ball and getting time. Probably the space in that we gave Rovers, that didn't seem to be there tonight. We were kind of pushing out onto them a lot quicker. But like I say, it's an awful shame that we just couldn't keep the clean sheet tonight. I think that would have really capped off an excellent display.
Absolutely.
Good for Han to get his first goal too.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think
Brilliant.
you look at him, Sahibo, Tchaikovsky, they're the kind of signings we probably hoped that Peak Six were going to sign when they come in. You know, it would have been great to see those lads in with maybe the 2019, 2018 squad, but you know, that bodes well. It's just a pity that we've got another 43 players in the squad anyway on top of them. But you know, those lads, particularly Sahibo in the first half, looked very good apart from his tackle right on the edge of half time. But I think if we move on kind of towards the man of the match, Chris, do you want to give your shout for who you think should have been man of the match?
I think his link-up play was good today. He scored the first goal, so I'm going Davy Mack.
Perfect. Gally?
Like I said, if he had to score another one, maybe, I would have went with Chris. But for me, like I was saying to us, we were talking during the game, when Han has a ball at his feet, just today I'd say, he'd remind you kind of like a Mickey Duffy when we signed Mickey Duffy or Darrell Hogan. There was always something, he's not in the same league, but you just felt like something was going to happen when he had the ball at his feet. And I think just for his work ethic today and the goal, getting his first goal, for me, Han would just shade it.
Steph?
I think if Sahibo had stayed on longer, he's obviously not fit enough to play longer than he had. I thought he was the standout for me while it was on, but I don't think he played enough to get man the match. So I think it's going to happen the same that happened when Chris picked Shieldsy. He's going to get outnumbered on this one again. But Han, I thought, was excellent. He caused them serious trouble. He was comfortable on the ball. His work rate, he was helping Dummigan out brilliantly. He was nicking balls off them. And he got the goal then as well. So my pick is Han.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go for Han as well. Sorry, Chris. I was listening again. I was listening in the LMFM online with Flano and Adrian Taft, but when every time Han got in the ball, it was kind of reminiscent of Michael Duffy when he burst on the scene with us, like Darrell Horgan. Thanks for that, Gally, earlier. But like those kind of players, there was that tinge of excitement when he got on the ball tonight, which we haven't heard all season from any of our players. And then just coupled with a goal. So just from listening in to me, it sounded like he was the best player on the pitch. So that's going to be my pick. So, Chris, does that make him the winner?
Yes, that is him the winner. And even adding up, it was probably the closest man of the match competition that we've had so far as well. So early on comments, a lot were for Davy Mack, and then plenty straight after that then for Han, and then maybe you guys talking has swayed them over. I should have talked for longer then. I thought I'd go directly. I thought we were just doing a quick whip around, but clearly I know you're come to me last next time and I'm going to do a whole pitch.
you're just going to blank us all off and then just do a second with that. But I think we can officially christen it the Oriel hand job.
There's Steph. You need to clear it, say if you're allowed to do it. Yeah. Right, Steph. So we've got the winner of our man the match competition. So if we're going with Han is Colin Casey.
Well done, Colin.
Well done, Colin. Is it a PT wins tonight or is it a mug?
It's back to the pizza tonight. So actually, Colin was the opening bid as well on Gally's jersey. So that's actually quite fitting that it ended up going back to him at the end. And Gally also, I don't know if you're aware, but they're Darren Norton's got a 500 bid. Yeah, there's a
500 euros bid.
Yeah.
Quality.
So just for anybody, if anybody's
one or two just asking, who've come in late, just asking.
So you can message, you can put in a bid before we finish the show, or if you want to bid anonymously, you can PM the Town End page or Castletown Bells page. Like obviously, if they're speaking to yourselves, they can message through that as well. But what I don't want to, I really hope to avoid is people making piss take bets. Bids. We want people to be serious with the bids. You don't want people joking and then taking the money back. It's going for charity. It's a brand new kit. It's signed by every player. The ball is the same. It's an unbelievable. To get it framed and hang it up in your room, your kitchen, wherever. It's an unbelievable thing to get. So you can speak to any of the boys. The auction will run from tonight until the end of next week's pod. So hopefully we'll have a decent bit of money, chunk of change for Save Our Sonia Fund.
So just to kind of clarify that as well, that'll be Friday's pod because I think we've got another midweek game coming up this week. So it'll be after I think we play Longford next Friday. So it'll be after that one. And just the way Gally was saying about
during the week, just let people know where we stand on it, who's in the running and what the bid is currently during the week.
Yeah, and if you don't want your name put out, you can ask us not. It can be anonymous if you don't want your name kept secret.
Yeah.
And Gally, just one more. How will you frame the football?
I should have just kept it. I should have kept it for myself.
I'm only joking. No, but all seriousness, it's brilliant to see the bids coming in, and everyone will take it seriously. Everyone knows what it's all about. So it's fair play to the lads up in Dundalk for doing it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So that's all good stuff. So moving on now, and this is a topic, Steph, you actually brought it up when you were talking about the match, and it's kind of come up all season as well on social media from our supporters and things. From a lot of the blame went on Filippo Giovanoli for his substitutions where he'd make 3 subs at a time. It happened again tonight, and it completely took the sting out of our play. So I suppose a question I wanted to throw out to the group to kind of discuss in our Ask the Lads. Gally said that he doesn't want it to be Ask Gally anymore. So the Ask the Lads is the FEI and football in general right now are keeping this 5 sub rule going. But if clubs are doing this, and look at, not every club is doing it the way that we're doing it, but do you feel like the 5 sub rule is kind of ruining the match for people? Is it too many changes at one time? Is it too many changes in total? Personally, from what I've seen this season, where we are starting to get on top of teams, and then these changes happen, and it seemed again tonight a couple of the changes were happening just for the sake of making changes, So I would be on the fence or off the fence. I'd be on the side of the fence where we'd say that I think I would like to see it go back to 3 subs. So it's asked the lads, but Gally, I'm going to go to you first.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, no, I would agree. I get the idea of it come in during COVID and it's give players a break and not. I understand, but I think it's a bit played out now. It's fine if you're way ahead in the game, if you're winning 4 or 5-0 and you've got a couple of subs, make sure look, we get the main players off. But it gives teams that are leading an advantage. So if you're pumping a team and you've got 1 or 2 of your players on yellow cards, but you've got 2 or 3 subs still on the bench after 70 minutes, you can take them off. And I don't like it. I think it's a bit of a, I wouldn't want to say the word cop-out, but I don't even like roll on, roll off at kids football. I think if you've got a squad and you've got a 3 minimum subs, you have to get your thinking hat on. You can't just throw on 5. You technically, what you're doing is you're putting on a sub every 15 minutes if you want it. I think it was fine during COVID, and but I think now it's got to come to an end at some stage. I think 3 subs is the way to go. I'm all for the injury subs if there was that kind of situation, a concussion. That's a different ballgame altogether. But I think when you go into a team and you've got 90 minutes and you can make 5 substitutions no matter what's happened, I think it's a bit of a I'm not really into it. I don't really understand it. Again, like I say, I get it with COVID, but if you've a small squad, so if you've got a small squad of maybe 19 players and you're making 5 subs, everybody's taking over nicely. I get it. Small squad, more subs suit you. But it encourages people to go and sign more players. So if you can make 5 subs, you're going to up the wage bill because you've got to get more players in. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't really like it. Like I say, even at club football, Pinger, you'll be doing the same. I don't think it puts the best kind of strategy in place for a manager. If you know you can put 11 on the field and you can put 5 on the bench, I don't think there's any thinking in that. I think you can just chop and change as many times as you like. 5 substitutions is massive. No, back to 3, 100%. Like I said, the concussion one, that's a different issue. Absolutely back that, no problem. But it's got to go back to 3 subs. It doesn't suit anyone. I don't think it keeps anybody on their toes. If you're sitting on the bench and there's 8 of you and 5 of you are going to get on, where's the competition? The chances are you're going to get on at some stage. So no, for me personally, from a coaching point of view, 3 subs. In senior football and ladies in the DWSL, it's a 5 sub team, and I don't like it. I mean, we've only got 16, 17 players. I'd rather have the 3. It means you can concentrate on 3 and have it the way it is. But no, it changes as quick as it can. If it can be changed, I would be back to 3 substitutes. Absolutely.
Perfect. Steph?
Is there a rule that you can only make is it 3? You've only 3 blocks to make substitutions or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're using 1 block to get 3 players on, but it hasn't suited us anytime we've done it. Anytime we've done it, it's disrupted our play. It's set us back. That's just from a Dundalk point of view. But I'd agree with Gally that with the 3 subs, it was fine over COVID and stuff like that. There was extra games being played. I'd go back to the 3. I think at the start of the season there was some teams having 12 and 13 players on the bench.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, there's more people on the bench than actually playing the game. I know you can make 5 subs out of them, but it was outrageous just looking at it. Like, just my point of view, I'd be back and go back to the 3 subs and have, like, you can name 7 on the bench and you can pick 3 from them. I know that probably means like players missing out in game time and players missing out getting on the bench, but I think it's a bit excessive having the 5 myself.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah, I thought with Steph being on the bench so much, he would have said, no, let's have 5. There's a better chance he would have got on. But, yeah, no, I'd be in agreement with the lads. Look, the rule came in for the COVID reasons. We've agreed to 5 substitutions during this year, so we're going to have to stick with it now anyway, till the season's out. But yeah, when it comes back next year, it should go back to 3. It's having little windows for your substitute opportunities, and I think there's I think you kind of feel you have to use it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and like Steph just said, it's knocked us off our kilters too many times. We've made subs for the sake of it because our squad is massive. Don't forget, this rule at the moment suits Dundalk, and Dundalk probably, when you look at the amount of players maybe that Pats have brought in, you look at the amount of players that Rovers have as well. This is, all these squads were brought in because they knew there was a 5 sub rule, and you're going to have a lot roll in, roll off. And then you would say the only benefit to it could be like, would O'Kane got on tonight if we didn't have 5 subs?
Yeah,
he wouldn't be looking up. Now he's able to give him a chance. So I see something in that, but yeah, it's not working for us so far this year. So I want to say definitely scrap it. But outside of that, I'd go back to 3. Maybe like Ali said, it might increase competition amongst the players to make sure you're in the manager's minds of those 3 substitutes to get onto the pitch.
Yep.
Can I go to a couple of the questions from our viewers tonight, guys?
Yep.
First one is on the centre-back partnership. So it's in here from Nelly Whites for Life. If we're going back to playing 4 at the back and Sonny comes in, what back partnership do you want to go for? Pingu, you go first.
So I think Sonny and Cleary for me would be my 2 at the back, my 2 centre halves. Look, Andy Boyle owes the club absolutely nothing for what he done in the Stephen Kenny era, but since he's come back, he hasn't looked like the same player he was before. And we've been critical of, and I've probably been the most critical of Cleary to date, but he showed tonight a little bit more of that consistency of what he has done and why he was one of probably the number 1 centre back for the last couple of years. So for me, I would say that it would be my choice would be Sonny and Cleary.
Callie?
Yeah.
Go on, Steph was going to jump in there. Was he going?
Go on, Steph.
I was going to say he'll have Hoban back in the team now next week. No, I think he's probably right what he's saying for once. He's hiding there as well, but no, I'd go with Cleary. I think Cleary, you need someone with a bit of pace in there. Like Cleary's more pace than Boyle. I think.
He did a good match tonight, though, Cleary.
Yeah, I thought he done well. He was stepping out from the back, but I found as well, he must have been listening to us last week. He when he got to a certain stage of the pitch, he sort of looked to take the pass instead of keep carrying it on and taking on another player. And then when he passed it, he looked to get back in the position. Whereas before, it was nearly like he was just going gung-ho and he was just going up the pitch. No, I thought he was very good, and I thought he started the season really well. He made a couple of mistakes then, and it just seemed like his confidence was shook.
Yeah.
But having Boyle beside him, I think you need that steady partnership and build a relationship, especially at centre half. You know when the centre half's going to attack a ball. You know when the centre half's going to cover for you. It's a very important position, and then you're the last line of defence before they're in a goal, basically. So you need that to be rock solid. You need to know each other's games inside out, and that's where I think when we had Boyle and Gartland there, like they were like the ideal partnership.
Yeah.
Two of them were in the prime of their career, and they covered for each other excellently, I thought. But yeah, going back to originally what the original question was, I think Cleary.
Politician coming out, yeah.
Cleary and Sonny for me, but I don't even know if it brings Sonny back in at the minute.
Gally.
Yeah, that's just what you ended with there. I think at the minute I would stick with the two boys simply because I think today showed that when the midfield are at it and when we have that extra bit in midfield, they're not as overrun. Now, I know we've conceded again, but what was happening a lot of times, Shields was being pulled from pillar to post, and the two boys were just being onslaughted because they were so just tight. They were just so overrun in midfield. But I mean, the long-term plan, and probably for a better balance, the left foot of Sonny would suit Cleary better. Two pacey centre halves. Not that Boyle isn't quick, but he's probably not as quick as he was. But I still think his influence, like Garth, I think he's got that steady head for maybe when Cleary goes into the stands there. Let's just, sometimes he's just a wee bit, I wouldn't say gung-ho, I just think he can be a wee bit erratic and a bit reckless sometimes. But tonight, look, they were excellent tonight. But at the minute, I would probably leave it as it is. But long term, it would probably switch to Sonny simply because it would provide a better balance. So if it's going to be Dunwigan or Jarkovskis going down the left, he's got that left peg of Nadestad sitting behind him. But I think they're okay at the minute. I think once the midfield gets sorted, I don't think they'll be as overrun, so they probably won't be as whooped as much. But it remains to be seen. But I think if it's similar to tonight, I would be in a massive rush to change it.
I think the thing is though, that people have to earn their way back into the squad. We've got something to build on now, and you can see, like I say, this win is important tonight, especially when you look at other results. But also, it can kickstart something. Like nobody should be able to come back and go straight into the squad now. The squad have dug it out, got a win, against our local rivals as well. So I think you gotta hold that in. Second question come in then is the goalkeeping situation. Does Cherry hold on to the starting now? You can't keep swapping this. I assume everyone's going to agree on that. So do we stick with Cherry? What does that say to BB's confidence though? That's my, that's the only end of it though. Pingu, back to you.
I mean, I suppose short term, yeah, but I think the club needs to look at getting a proper first choice goalkeeper in because I don't think he's the answer either. That's short and sweet.
Steph.
Is there any under 19 keepers coming up and coming? No.
Not quick enough.
Look, I think Cherry is 37 now, whatever age he is. I think he probably will play now from now on, but I think we do need to seriously look at it. I think he's made a couple of mistakes already. Cherry, he nearly got caught out a couple of times as well. So since he's been in, so I think it's something we need to. I think Cherry will stay in at the minute, but I think we need to look at that situation.
Gally?
Yeah, I think just to be very short, I think it'd be silly now to switch again. I think I would give Cherry a run of games and see what happens. Like, Abibi's confidence will be knocked, but like was alluded to a couple of weeks ago, I don't think he's played until he joined Dundalk. He hadn't played a competitive game since 2019, so that's confidence knocked before he even signed. But look, I would give Cherry a run of games. I think there's no doubt these two keepers, they won't keep the same two keepers for the season. They're going to have to go again, I think, in the if nothing, like if I'm Peter Cherry and I'm looking to the side and BB's my competition, so like, I think you're looking at the game every week, so I would give him a run of games, Cherry, now, because I think he could be. I think he has he's probably mentally stronger for us. And look, but if it comes to it, and like swapping the goalkeeper every game is
nuts. Like, they can't keep doing it.
It's crazy. Like if they're going to be a dark, give them a half each. You've got 5 subs. It makes more sense. It's silly. But I would give Cherry a run of games, and BB's young. He's only 24. Yeah. Goalkeeping coaches bring him up, and look, he's got a long career ahead of him if he gets his head right in the game. And no pun intended there, boys. But Cherry for me, I would play him.
And it goes back to the point earlier. I think that's the starting team anyway, and you can't just chop and change for the sake of it, whether it's a goalkeeping position or anybody else. Even when Hoopin comes back, I even think, McMillan's doing a job up front now. He's, that's 2-2 in the league, there for him as well. So I just don't think you can go and chop and change anything. And I was surprised at the start of the season that McMillan wasn't even getting in off the bench or anything like that. Like he didn't seem to be used. This system and the way we're playing football at the moment, you could nearly have an argument to say that it suits McMillan more than Houben. Not that, Houben's not a good player. I just think the style and everything we're playing, at times we've seen Houben drop very deep looking for the ball to try to make things happen, toward maybe we need somebody further up the field. Sometimes McMillan can be a bit more mobile than him too. So I for that reason, I'm meant to be talking about goalkeepers. Why am I talking about attackers? I have no idea how that even happened. Because the last question isn't even that. The last question is, is our midfield duo now Sahibo and Shields? Steph.
I think they can definitely work together in there, like it proved tonight. And then if you've McElhenney just playing ahead of him, like that's an ideal three for me. I think Shields can concentrate on his own job more, and if Sahibo's getting on the ball and spraying passes like he has been doing, it's ideal. It'll stretch the whole pitch, like it'll take people out wide, and that'll create more space in the middle, and it's ideal for McElhenney linking up with Duffy, linking up with whoever Han if he's going to play on the right as well. Like hopefully we can just get McElhenney fit now, stay on the pitch, because he's the key. He's the key for me.
Yeah.
I think no fats, no party. I think that's the ideal. I think it's the ideal partnership at the minute for me.
Bingo.
Yeah, I think just going off of what Steph said, anything that makes Shields's job a little bit easier or stop Shieldsy from doing the job of 10 men, I think any partner in there with him that'll do that will help. So I didn't get to see it tonight, but from what I heard of Sahibo and how he played in the first half from the lads on commentary, I think, absolutely it could work. We've said for too long, and maybe it was the system. Sloggett might be unlucky now that because of how his performances were and a system that maybe didn't suit him, he's going to lose his place to Sahibo now. But that's the unfortunate thing about football. Is a new player has come in, he's got a chance. He's been very impressive tonight. So, I mean, especially for the Waterford game next week, you have to go with that 11, and you would be looking at those two starting in defensive midfield again.
Gally?
Yeah, like we said, there's no need to change the 11. It kind of reminds you, not that they're in the same league, but when O'Donnell and Shields played together and McElhenney was doing all the running, or Ronan Finn, and it kind of got that vibe again. I know it's only one game, it's early doors, but I do feel sorry for saxophone sloggers, as he is on Instagram playing that saxophone. But I think he's an excellent footballer. I think he's on his day. I think he's excellent what he does. He'd be like our version of Michael Carrick, but I think he's going to lose out now with Sahibo coming in. I just think there's a better feel to it. I think the boys look like Sahibo. I know he probably wasn't match fit tonight, but running with the ball, he looks like he's not even breaking a sweat. He just glides across the field. I think he could be real. I know we waited on him, but I think he could be a real find. But yeah, I think that's going to be. There's no need to change the 11. Unless a barring an injury, that 11 should just go back out next week. There shouldn't be any major change. And I think the two boys with McElhenney, yeah, I think that's the way to go for the next couple of games anyway.
Is it tough on Sloggett and Stanton though?
Not so much Stanton, simply because we haven't seen enough of him. But Sloggett, for me, I think on his day, he's a cracking midfielder. I just think he'll miss out with this one, because even if McElhenney comes out, he doesn't really go in there either. You're really waiting on Shields to have a break or need a break for him maybe to get a game. But I actually think they'll start Stanton over him. I think they just have that set up. I actually think Stanton will probably start more games than Sloggett. But it's a pity. But that's what squads are for. We got to put the best team out.
Just don't think Sloggett's hit the right note yet.
No.
Possibly though, now that we've just changed this formation and we're playing a more fluid system that I think Dundalk are more used to. A lot of the players who've been here over the past few seasons are more used to it. It might suit him better. I think when Sloggett was in, he's been asked to play one role. He's been asked to play further up the pitch. He's been asked to play further back. there's 3 at the back, drop into the back when Garth's going. I mean, I feel sorry for Sloggett more than anything. I just don't think at all this year he's got a chance just to say, let me play in my favourite position for a couple of games. It's very rare as he got that opportunity. So in that sense, I just feel sorry for him. But look, if we're winning, there's healthy competition, and I think that's what we got to take from it, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're Sean Murray coming back as well.
And Sean Murray too, yeah. That's it from the comments tonight, Pingu.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll move on to the table, which I think looks a little bit better tonight. We've moved up another place. So if we keep doing this for the next 6 games, we'll be top. So after tonight, Dundalk are now sitting in 7th place with their first win of the season, 3 draws, 3 losses, 7 goals for, and I don't have my glasses on, 9 goals against, so -2 goal difference. So we're looking better than we were. Pats have got on top. The Scumbags are now in 2nd place, and Sligo are close to them, all on goal difference. So the table, it's looking a little bit better, isn't it, lads? And
we'll pick it away at it slowly. We'll get up there.
Yeah, and look, we don't want to be saying kind of too much too soon, but hopefully a win next Friday over Waterford puts a bit of daylight between us and the bottom 3. I mean, that's realistically the way we need to look at it. I don't expect us, after tonight's performance in the first half in particular, I don't expect us to be even talking about that by the end of the season. But realistically now, it's about getting points on the board, getting closer to the top and getting further away from the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we're starting to look up the table now to see who we can catch instead of looking behind us going, Jesus, these might catch us if they win tonight. So hopefully it's a bit more positive. Start picking up the points.
Yeah. So I had said earlier that there was a midweek game this week. Shock! I was wrong. There's no midweek game this week. It's the week after. But we go again Friday night, 7:45 against Waterford. Didn't have Chicago time this time. I got that part right for once. But yeah, as always, we really appreciate everybody for watching, for listening. Thanks a million to Sonia and Daniel for coming on, Daruis Kierans for coming on and going relatively easy on me, and the legend himself live at Oriel, Jerry Malone. Great to have Jerry on. Hopefully we'll get Jerry on again later on in the season when he's not using Danny's Wi-Fi. But I think that's it from us. If any of you's got any last words you want to say?
There was another bid there, wasn't there?
Oh, Colin Casey bid 600.
Flash up.
600
Colin Casey.
Yeah.
Lovely job.
Yeah.
Come on, Colin.
That pizza must have gone in.
He's after selling the pizza to fund it. So we're bringing a halt to the predictions because I'm on a winning run of 2 in a row.
No. Yeah, we gotta do a prediction at the end. Yeah. Steph's 2 for 2 now?
Yeah. 2 for 2, yeah.
Well, Steph can go last then.
There's no
No, let him go first so I can copy him.
Gally, we'll let you go first there.
For next Friday, I don't see them score. For once, I don't see this team scoring against us. So, I'm going to stick my neck out there. I think 3-0. I think we're going to go for it next week. I think that this week there's got to be a game. There's going to come a game we're going to thump someone, and it has to be these next week because they had a shit show this week at training and everything.
And then one tonight.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The boys might even be there. Mike Neal will be giving out to someone's tapes, and they wouldn't be there.
Chris?
For most of the game today, I thought I had it at 1-0. And so I'm going to go for it this week. This will be the 1-0 to Dundalk.
1-0.
This is it. We're getting a clean sheet, lads.
I think I'm going to go with 2-1 for Dundalk next week. Unlike Gally, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet with either of those two playing in goal. So I'm going to say we're going to get another 2-1 win next week. Steph?
Here we go. Right, everyone.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as you all have been talking about, and I know they've had their troubles and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be a difficult game for us down there.
Oh God, he's gone and done it.
Really, I was half thinking about going 1-1 because I do think we'll concede, but I think I'm going to go with Oriel Park because he's been right at least once tonight. So I'm going to go 2-1 Demostino. I think we'll get a 2-1 win. I think we will concede again, but I think we'll just have it too much for them. 2-1.
Who's going to score?
Who's going to score?
Yeah.
McElhenney's going to score. And Duffy.
Perfect. What minutes?
What minutes? 34th, and then Duffy will seal it then, the breakaway goal in the 84th.
All right, perfect.
34 84.
I just want to mention one of the lads sent me in a picture because of last week's tips. Young Maxi McAllister tipped up, backed my tips. Macmillan first goal and Dundalk to win 2-1. So he's in a few quid. So he said he's gonna send me down a wee takeaway one of the nights.
Tell him I have a jersey and a football here for him. Take his money into that.
He can put that into the fund. So enjoy the winnings, Maxie. Yeah. Have a good one.
On that note, we'll end on a positive note, lads. We started on a positive note tonight. We'll end on a positive note. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see everybody next Friday. All right. Cheers.
Goodbye.